started. I'm going to start with a primer, and I'm going to move that all over my skin. So after I put on my primer, I'm actually going to use a little bit of Scotch tape on my eyes, and what this does is it creates a nice line for eyeshadow. So I'm going to apply that basically right from my hairline down in this area. So it's going to look something like that. The second piece of tape is always more difficult because you have to match the first one, so spend a little time, make sure that it is even. Next, I'm going to come in with an eye primer. Using our list of products, we've listed a couple eye primers that you can use. This one that I'm using is called Painterly by MAC. And it's just basically a paint pot. I'm going to take this paint pot and I'm going to work it all the way into my skin, from the lid, from the lash line, all the way up to my brow line. Next, I'm going to come in with some eyeshadow. The eyeshadow that we recommend, there are a couple of different ones. You can use the Naked palette. This is actually Naked too, but I recommend the first Naked palette. The other palette that you can use is by Maybelline, and it is called the Nudes. This is $9.99 at Target. You can also get it at Ulta. If you get a coupon at Ulta for $3.50, then you can get it for even cheaper. So I'm going to start off with just applying a really nice base. The first color that I'm going to use is this color right here on my Naked palette. It's the third one in. On this second Naked palette, it's called Frisk, but on the first one, I don't know what the name is. Just go ahead and use the third one in. So I'm going to put this all over the lid, and just be careful not to go up too high. And what we do with this is we're making sure that we're building a nice brown base before we apply the black, because if you don't do that, the black can often look a little silvery on stage. So we're going to build a nice brown base. So this is basically going all the way from the inside of the lid, kind of moving up out here, and then go all the way to that piece of tape. Okay, the next color I'm going to use is this one right here. It's called Primal in this palette, but it's basically the second to last one. I'm going to come in right about here, basically where the tape line is, and then I'm going to feel where the brow bone is, and I'm just going to push this powder all the way in, and I'm not going to go too deep into my eye socket in terms of going in too far towards the nose. Just kind of about 3/4 of the way in, and just press it in. Okay, so if you can see right now, I have basically put the brown, and it's creating a nice shadow. Basically what I'm wanting to do is I want to create a similar line of that basically match the arch of my eyebrow. So I'm going to kind of create that, and you can work with that just by blending it. You don't have to spend too much time on it though, because we're going to come back. The next color I'm going to use is basically a black. So you can use on this Naked palette, you can use this one. It's kind of got a grayer tone to it. Another one that I recommend is actually Carbon. This is by MAC. It's basically just black, and it's just a great black to use. On the Nudes palette, you can use the black that they've provided, and it is basically a true black. Okay, so let's get started here. So I'm going to load my brush, and I am going to follow along basically the same place where I put the brown, but I'm going to start by building in a nice crease. So I'm going to use basically a brush, it's kind of an angled brush a little bit, it's tapered. So I'm using this to create a really nice deep line. Have patience with it. And if you mess up, it's not a big deal, because you can always blend it and add a little more black or brown. Okay, so now I have my black that's in position. I'm actually going to start to really build this up. So I've created the shape right now. I'm going to load my brush and really start to deepen this and blacken it out. So let's get started. The thing that you're going to do too is when you're pulling this black out, you want to make sure that you bring it all the way out to that piece of tape, because that's going to create that beautiful winged line that makes your eyes look big on stage. So let's get started. I'm just going to pull this, and I'm just going to continue to really load my brush. You may notice that there's some powder that falls underneath your eyes, which is fine because we haven't even put on our foundation yet. So you can just clean that up really easily. The reason I'm not bringing the black down onto the lid is because I'm going to put some gold there, and that just keeps your eyes looking bigger and brighter on stage. The reason we use gold and not silvers is that the silver really can wash you out. In fact, there was one competition that I did that I had a makeup artist only use silver on me, and it did not look good. So we have kind of perfected this and learned over time, just from doing a lot of competitions, that black and gold and a little bit of brown tend to look the best on stage. Also, it's just in our opinion, it looks better on stage to really stick to those golds and blacks and browns, despite having, you know, maybe a red suit or a green suit and wanting to match that color. It actually looks better if you just stick with some neutral colors. Okay, so you can see I'm really building this up. If you want, you can bring this black all the way in. Depends on your eye shape. If you, and the position of your eyes, if you have very narrow set eyes, do not bring the black in. If you have very wide set eyes, then go ahead and definitely bring that black all the way into the nose. If you feel like your eyes are kind of in the neutral position, then just bring the black into about the position of your eyebrow, and don't stop. So, position of your eyebrow, and don't go any further than that. So you can see I've actually kind of gone all the way in, but it's really up to your preference. I'm just continuing to build this black, I'm really loading it on. I continue to dip my brush into the black, and I'm putting on as much as I can and loading it on there. And then I'm bringing it all the way out to this tape line. So this tape line is basically creating that beautiful line for me, which we will see once we pull it off. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is I'm actually going to bring the black in right down kind of on the corner of my eyelid down here. Feel like, oh my gosh, it's a lot of black, but it really is, you can't go too black because you get on stage and all the black does is it just creates a really beautiful definition on stage under those lights. So load on the black as much as you can. I'm going to put the black away for just a moment, and I'm going to come in with a gold color on the Maybelline Nudes palette. It is this color right here. So this is the warm palette. I'm going to use, you can use a couple of these basically. I'm going to load my brush with this gold, and I'm going to place it right here, running from the inside of my eye out to the kind of the black area that we created a second ago. Same thing over here. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is using a blending brush. I'm going to come in with kind of a neutral color and just blend everything. So you can use on the Naked palette the color that we used earlier, the third one in, and just load your brush. And using kind of a windshield wiper sweeping motion, I'm just going to start to really work everything in and blend it nicely. And then what we're going to do is come back and build up those colors again. So you can see this is quite a process. So grab your black eyeshadow again. We're going to build up these colors just a little more. And then grab the gold color that we had earlier, and we're going to add that again to the lid. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to add white on the areas of our eyes that need to be highlighted. Grab a brush, let's use that tapered brush that we were using earlier. And I'm going to go with the lightest color that I have on this on this Maybelline Nudes palette. It's this white color. It's actually a little iridescent. If you have another white color or a color that's pretty light, load up your brush and let's start to highlight some areas of our eyes. I'm going to start right here underneath my brow. I'm just going to work this right along the brow line. Again, grab that fluffy blending brush, clean it off a little bit, and just use that with the windshield wiping motion and just kind of work it in. Don't press too hard, just kind of a nice, gentle windshield wiping motion so we don't have any hard lines. Next thing we're going to do is add liner on the top part of the eye. So a couple different products you can use. This is Black Track by MAC. Another product you can use is Maybelline Eye Studio. Maybelline Eye Studio, just in black. Comes with a little brush to apply that product. So either one of those is fine. I'm going to use my Black Track. So I've loaded my brush. Basically what I'm going to do is follow along this tape line and bring it all the way in and not too far in, because we want the inner part of the eye to be pretty light and then this outer area to be pretty dark. So we're going to start there. Use that tape to your advantage there. You don't need to draw a perfect line, because since the tape is there, you can really use that to create your beautiful winged line. Once you put the black on, it's always good to kind of go back and just darken it. Got some liner on. It's not too dramatic, it's just enough. What's going to happen is we'll put the lashes on and then we'll go back and darken up that line. So hold tight. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to peel off this tape so we can see the beautiful line. Luckily, since we put a primer on before we put the tape on, it shouldn't hurt too much. So if you didn't put that primer on, it might hurt a little bit. Okay, so we have some beautiful lines there, and we are going to keep those as much as we can. The next thing I'm going to do is apply our foundation. So the foundation we're using is, this is CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous in Tawny. This is the correct color for on stage. Another product you can use is the Revlon Color Stay. This is in Mahogany. This will work. It is very thick, so so if you're familiar with this product and you've used it before and you like it, then go for it. The last product I'm going to recommend is MAC. This is basically the Studio Fix Fluid. It is NC45, and I like to blend this with a little bit of NW45 as well, just to get a little darker. Okay, so I'm going to start with this NW or NC45 MAC. I just like to squirt it on my hand and work with a brush from my hand to my face. So I'm going to use a little bit of that. I'm also going to just a little bit of the NW45 and just blend those slightly. Not too much. The NW side of the MAC products go a little darker than the NC side because they pull more of a red tone. So that's why I blend it. I'm just trying to make this foundation as dark as possible to blend with the spray tan. So loading your brush, you can use either, this is a MAC brush. I don't know the number. I will put it in the comments below. You can also use a wedge if you want to. That's fine. Just make sure you moisten it. And I'm just going to take this and really apply and work into the skin. This product by MAC is fantastic. It photographs really well, and it works into the skin really well too, so you don't get too much of a muddy look. That's why I love this. Another important thing to remember is that you need to really make sure that you're working it into your hairline. So pull your hair back and you can kind of just push it into your hairline. You will get it on your hair, but you can clean it up easily with some baby wipes. So. Okay, so your spray tan will most likely come up to about right here. So you're gonna need to take the foundation and make sure you're working that all the way down your neck. I like to use just a real nice circular motion. Just kind of push it into the skin. And then also, you don't need to bring the foundation all the way up to your eye line. Just close enough is fine. And then the last thing is you need to make sure you cover your ears. So just make sure you're kind of pushing that onto your ears. I know it's kind of funny, but it does look funny to have white ears against really dark skin. So good thing about this MAC product is it's workable, so it doesn't dry too fast that you can't really kind of continue to work it into the skin. Okay, so I'm going to let that set into my skin. While that is drying and setting, I'm going to come in with NC42. This is a MAC Studio Finish Concealer. Another one that you can use if you're using the CoverGirl that we mentioned earlier, or the Revlon Color Stay. This is a HD concealer by NYX, and this is in, it's in CW07. So this is basically a great concealer, but it also is a great product for highlighting. So you can come in under the eyes here and down your nose, which I'm about to show you with the MAC product. I'm going to use, this is MAC 139, I think. So I'm going to use this brush, and I'm going to come in to create some highlighting in my face. So the first place to do it is under your eyes. You don't need to go all the way up to the lash line, but just right in here, and you're going to bring this down basically in a V. I'm going to work this basically in a V shape. And then I'm going to run this basically down the highest points of my face, so the center part. So you're going to just kind of push this up right between the brows, run it down your nose, right underneath your nose, and then right there. The next thing I'm going to do is build up my brows. I've already done one brow. You can see the shape. I'm going to show you how to do the second brow. So you're basically going to find the highest point here on your arch. Load your brush about not too much, because you don't want it to be right off the bat too dark. So just kind of find that high point and start to build it right there. You just want to create a nice arch. Once you've found that arch and you've created it, draw the line deep. Make sure that it kind of follows a nice long kind of line here, and then it doesn't go straight across. And then just build it kind of down towards your nose. Eyebrows are the most important part of your makeup by far. So you can see I've created a really dramatic arch. It is a bit like a drag queen, but that's really the effect we have to go for just to get enough makeup for the stage. So after we've done our eyebrows, we're going to go back in and add a little liner and shadow beneath our eyes just to build that up a little bit. We don't want too much underneath the eyes, so we're not going to make too much of a smoky eye there. We're really just going to create a nice line, blend it a little bit, and then leave it. So I'm going to come back in with my black track liner, and just real gently I'm going to run that along the under eye. You can go as far in as you want. I tend to stop midpoint just because it looks better on me. Whatever you feel looks good on you, you can take it all the way in. I'm actually gonna go ahead and bring this all the way in. Okay, so you can see that we've just added a little liner beneath our eyes. I'm gonna come in with our black track that we were using earlier and our tapered brush, not too much. I don't want it to be a smoky eye at all. I really want a nice line. So just kind of run this along the line. We're just deepening the line. It's adding a little bit of a smoky feel, but not too much. We just really want to create a nice line and leave it there. So okay, after you've gone in with the black, we're going to come back in with the gold that we used earlier. Just kind of work it in. Okay, the next part that we're going to do is we're going to put some powder on our face to kind of set our foundation and create a nice base to add our blush. This is MAC Studio Fix NC45. Another powder that you can use is Revlon Nearly Naked in 60 Dark. This is a great powder as well. That's more of like a drugstore product. It's not as expensive as some of the MAC products. So I'm just going to take this with the brush and really work it into my skin. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bronzer to add a little definition in my cheekbones, and then I'm going to come in with blush. So a couple different bronzers that you can use. This is MAC Global Glow. It's beautiful. I love it. It's got a nice sparkle sheen to it. Another one is Golden Refined Bronzing Powder by MAC. This is a great one. It has a little bit of a sheen to it as well, but it's not as minerally. The last one that you can use is Physicians Formula. This is Bronze Booster and the color is medium to dark. So this is a great one to use as well. I have a tapered blush brush to apply this. It's just going to give me the ability to create some definition. So I'm going to come in beneath my cheekbone. Really just kind of build this in. I'm not following my cheekbone right here, I'm coming underneath it. The next place you want to put it is right beneath your chin. Not on your chin, right beneath it. And then the last place is you can go right here kind of along your hairline. It just creates that like sun-kissed look. And then we're going to just follow up with a nice blend by creating a little C. So start right above your eyebrow and then just run it down your face and right underneath your cheekbone. So on both sides. Okay, so I'm going to come in with my blush. I'm going to use two different colors, and the colors I recommend are, this is MAC Peony Petal. It's a very bright pink. It's got a little purple tint to it. The other color, this is a little redder, is called Whole Lotta Love. This is by MAC. A couple other options you can use. Product by NYX. This is a baked blush, and it's called Statement Red. So let me open that up so you can see the color. And that's pretty close to, you can see those, kind of similar. The other one, this is more of a pink tone, and this one's called Pink Fetish, which is very similar to the other pink one that we have here. So I'm going to use my MAC, starting with the Whole Lotta Love Load Your Brush. And I'm going to start, if you create a nice smile so you can see the apples of your cheek. I'm going to start right here. And I'm just going to build this right in here. Alright, when I'm done with the Whole Lotta Love, I'm going to come back in with that pinker color, this one that's got that purple hue. Load your brush, and we're going to go not necessarily here, but more kind of just right here. And we're just going to tap it right there. That's just going to create a little bit of a pinker hue. Okay. So that's the face. The last thing that you're going to do is apply your lashes, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Before I apply my lashes, I apply mascara. If you have lashes that point down, then make sure you curl them. I'm very lucky. Mine are very open and wide, so I don't ever have to use a curler. So just use a primer first. If you don't have one, go ahead and put your mascara on, but I like to use a primer. Come in with your mascara. So when you're doing this, just apply the mascara right now to the top line, the top lashes, and then we'll come back in after we've applied the false lashes, and we'll add mascara to the bottom lashes. The lashes we recommend are, they're by Ardell, and they're number 205 black. They're basically doubled up, so if you can find these, that's great. These are super black. Otherwise, anything that's pretty dramatic. I think MAC has a few pair that are super intense that would look great on stage. Grab your first lash, take it off of the little tray, and I like to use tweezers to hold it. I grab it right in the center, there. That. This is Duo Eyelash Adhesive, and just squirt some of that really on anything, just a plastic tray, small trash. Next thing is you're going to use a Q-tip and just dip it in the glue, create a nice little bead onto it like that, and you're going to run it, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but you're going to basically run it along the glue line. And I like to run it kind of on the back side and then on the top side of it too. Just really get the glue all over that. Make sure to add a little extra glue on both ends of the lash. That just helps keep it tacked down. And then you have to wait. So give yourself 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I just like to sit and blow on it a little bit. Okay, so when you've given the lash glue enough time to get tacky, and you can kind of touch it and see if it's tacky. If it's coming off on your finger, then it's not ready to go on, which is what just happened. So I'm going to give it like 15 to 20 more seconds. So I'm going to go in first and hit the center point of my eye, and then I'm going to tack down the outside and then the inside. So just so you can see. Alright, they're tacked down, so I'm going to go in and just kind of touch it so that it sticks everywhere. And the glue will look a little white. It will stay like that until it dries. So once it dries, it'll dry clear and you won't be able to see it at all. So that's the first lash. I'm going to go and do the second lash. After you have both of your lashes on and you've allowed them to dry, you can go back in with your liner, either the black track or even just a black pencil, and make sure that you kind of darken that right over the lash line. A pencil might be a little too rough, so I would say if you can use the black track or the Maybelline Eye Studio with the liquid liner, go back in with that. I think it's going to create basically a darker look, but also it won't remove the lash from your line. So. This is pretty much a finalized look. The last thing that we do are the lips, and there are a couple different products we recommend. This is MAC Matte Victoriana. It is by far the best red that I've ever found. It's got a blue tone to it. Another color that you can use is by NYX. This is a matte, and it is called Perfect Red. It's MLS 10, and it also has a blue tone to it, so it'll make your teeth look nice and white. And the last color that we recommend is by Smashbox, and it's called Legendary, and it's a really nice red as well. So you can go red, you can go kind of a deep burgundy. Whatever your preferences is fine. You just don't want to go too, you don't want to do nude. You really need to make sure that your lips are very, very bright and full. So I earlier, when I put on my foundation, put it on my lips. I'm going to leave that there, which will create a nice lip base. If you want, you can use a lip primer. There's a lip primer by Too Faced. It's called Lip Insurance Smoothing Anti-Feathering Lip Primer. It's a great product. Definitely recommend it. I'm going to go ahead and put some on here. It's almost got like a burgundy to it. Last but not least, my absolute favorite lip gloss is by MAC. It's a Dazzle Glass, and this is in Love Alert, and it is fantastic. Oh my gosh, I love this color so much. So you're just gonna put that on top of the red. Really intense. Alternates. This is NYX Glam Lip Gloss called Aqualux. It's GLGO4, and it has like glitter in it. It's awesome. It's kind of a pink color. So if you put that on top of the Perfect Red with the pink, it really is just a beautiful combination. And that is it. Again, I hope you enjoyed this, and look forward to seeing you on stage.